The old house at the edge of town had been abandoned for decades. Everyone called it Anhiragar, the dark house. Rumors swirled around it like thick fog. Some said the house was cursed. Others whispered about strange lights and shadowy figures moving behind its cracked windows after sunset. No one dared to go near it, especially after nightfall. It stood there, silent and brooding, surrounded by overgrown weeds and twisted trees, like a dark secret waiting to be uncovered. One chilly autumn evening, a group of friends decided to challenge the legends. Ali, the fearless leader, was always eager to explore the unknown. His best friend Sohail was cautious but didn't want to be left behind. Along with two others, Zar and Hamid, they planned to spend a night inside Anhiragar to see if the stories were true. As they approached, the setting sun cast long shadows over cracked walls. The heavy wooden door, once grand, now hung crooked on its hinges. The air was thick with dust and a faint smell of something rotten. Ali pushed the door open, and a loud creak echoed through the empty halls. They stepped inside, flashlights barely cutting through the darkness. The floorboards groaned under their feet as they explored room after room. Broken furniture lay scattered, and cobwebs draped like curtains over peeling wallpaper. The only sounds were their breaths and the occasional drip of water somewhere deep inside. They tried to laugh, to shake off the creeping unease, but the house seemed to swallow their words. Hours passed, and the group gathered in the main hall. Suddenly, Zara's flashlight flickered and went out. In the darkness, a cold breeze swept through the room, though no windows were open. A soft whisper floated past her ears, indistinct but unmistakably a voice calling a name. Ali. Ali's heart pounded. "Did you hear that?" he whispered. The others nodded, frozen in place. Then, without warning, the old grandfather clock in the corner struck midnight. The chimes echoed eerily, but the clock's hands were stuck, frozen at 12. The friends decided to leave, but the door slammed shut behind them with a deafening bang. They rushed to open it, but it wouldn't budge. Panic set in. Suddenly, the lights on their phones began to flicker, and from the shadows, something moved, something dark and formless. Hamid screamed as a cold hand seemed to brush past him, though no one was near. Zara's eyes widened as she saw faint red eyes glowing from the far end of the hall. The group huddled together, backs against the wall. Ali tried to keep calm. "We need to find another way out," he said. The house groaned like a living thing, walls seeming to close in. Whispers surrounded them now, voices overlapping in a maddening chorus. "Leave! Stay! You belong here." As they searched for an escape, the floor beneath them trembled. The walls dripped with dark, sticky liquid. Suddenly, a hidden door behind a bookshelf creaked open, revealing a narrow staircase spiraling down into darkness. With no other choice, they descended. The air grew colder with every step. At the bottom, they found a cavernous room filled with ancient symbols etched into the stone walls. In the center lay an old wooden chest, locked tight. Ali felt drawn to it, as if some invisible force was compelling him forward. When he touched the chest, a scream echoed through the room, a voice of pure agony and despair. The friend staggered back, but Ali opened the chest. Inside was a tattered diary, its pages yellowed and brittle. As Ali began to read aloud, the story of the house unfolded. A tale of betrayal, loss, and dark rituals performed long ago to trap restless souls within the walls. Suddenly, the ground shook violently. The room was filling with shadows that reached for them, whispering secrets too terrible to speak aloud. The friends realized that the house was not just haunted, it was alive, feeding on fear, trapping souls forever. They had to find a way to break the curse. But the diary's final pages were missing, ripped out by unseen hands. Now, trapped in Anhiragar with no clear way out, Ali, Sohail, Zara, and Hamid knew their nightmare was only beginning. The oppressive darkness thickened around them, pressing on their minds like a suffocating fog. The shadows writhed along the walls, twisting into grotesque shapes, whispering secrets that clawed at their sanity. Ali clutched the diary tightly, desperate to find some clue, some hint to undo the ancient curse binding them. Sohail's voice trembled. "There has to be a way out. This house, it's like it's alive. It's testing us." Zara shivered. eyes darting nervously. I keep hearing footsteps, but no one's there. Hamid pulled his jacket tighter, and I keep feeling like something's breathing down my neck. As Ollie flipped through the remaining pages, he noticed a faint symbol drawn at the bottom of the last intact page, a circle with jagged lines inside, resembling a shattered mirror. His pulse quickened. Could this symbol hold the key? Suddenly, a chilling laughter echoed from the far corner of the room, low and guttural. The shadows coalesced into a vague humanoid shape, its eyes burning with a crimson glow. The air grew icy cold. "You cannot leave," the voice hissed. "Once you enter Anhiragar, the darkness takes you." Ollie steeled himself. "We don't belong here. We're not your prey." The figure advanced, tendrils of shadows stretching toward them. Zara screamed as a cold grip caught her arm, pulling her toward the darkness. Sohail lunged to grab her, but the shadows writhed and pulled with unnatural strength. "Ollie!" Sohail cried. In that moment, Ollie remembered the symbol in the diary. He traced it on the floor with trembling fingers and began reciting the strange incantation written beneath it, a language old as time, words vibrating with power. The shadows recoiled, screeching in fury. The shape twisted and distorted, its grip loosening on Zara. With a burst of courage, Ollie grabbed Zara's hand and pulled her away as the circle glowed with an eerie light. The room trembled violently as cracks appeared in the stone walls, glowing veins of light spreading like a web. The oppressive darkness began to recede, replaced by a cold, purifying glow. But the house was not done yet. From the shadows above, dozens of ghostly faces emerged. Tormented souls trapped for centuries, their mouths open in silent screams. They surged toward the friends, desperate for freedom or vengeance. Ollie realized the incantation was only a temporary shield. They needed to escape the house before it sealed itself again. "Follow me," Ollie shouted. They raced up the winding stairs, the faces reaching out, their cold hands brushing the backs of their necks. The front door loomed ahead, bathed in the last fading light of dawn. With one final push, they threw the door open and spilled into the morning air. The door slammed shut behind them with a deafening bang. Panting and trembling, they looked back at Anhiragar. The house stood silent once more, but the darkness inside seemed to pulse, waiting. Ollie clutched the diary, now warm to the touch. This isn't over. The house, it's still alive, and it's coming back. Sohail swallowed hard. What do we do now? Ollie looked at his friends, determination burning in his eyes. We find the missing pages. We end this, before Anhiragar claims more souls. As they walked away from the house, a cold wind whispered behind them, carrying a single word on its breath: return. The warning lingered in the cold morning air, a haunting echo that wrapped around their minds like a suffocating shroud. Ollie tightened his grip on the diary as they made their way back to the town, the first rays of sunlight doing little to soothe the terror still clinging to their skin. They reached the local library, an old building with shelves sagging under the weight of forgotten knowledge. If any place held clues about Anhiragar's dark past, it would be here. As they entered, the musty smell of aged paper greeted them, mingled with the faintest hint of mildew. Zara pulled a dusty volume from the shelf. Its spine cracked and faded. "Maybe we can find some history about the house," she said, flipping the fragile pages carefully. Hours passed as they pored over archives and yellowed newspapers. The house, once owned by a wealthy family called the Kadris, had a grim history. Centuries ago, the patriarch, a man obsessed with immortality, had dabbled in forbidden rituals. The diary Ollie found was likely his, a record of dark experiments and desperate attempts to bind spirits to the house, hoping to escape death himself. Suddenly, Sohail's fingers stopped on a passage. Those who seek to undo the curse must gather the scattered remnants of the binding spell, the lost pages, hidden in places touched by the Kadri bloodline. Hamid swallowed nervously. So, the missing pages, they're hidden somewhere? But where? Ali's mind raced. The Kadri family had lived in the town and its outskirts. Old cemeteries, abandoned mansions. Even the local mosque might hold secrets. "We split up," Ali said. "We find those pages. We bring them back here. Only then can we hope to end this nightmare." The four friends nodded, fear mingling with resolve. As they parted ways, the sky darkened unexpectedly, thick clouds rolling in like a warning. The wind whispered again, faint but clear, "You cannot hide from darkness." Zara shivered and pulled her coat tighter. Something told her this was just the beginning, that Andhira Gar's grip was far stronger than they imagined, and the shadows were already creeping closer. Days turned into nights as Ali, Sohail, Zara, and Hamid searched relentlessly for the missing pages. Each fragment they found revealed more about the dark ritual, a curse so powerful it bound not only spirits, but also time itself to house. The friends realized that the curse fed on fear, pain, and memories, growing stronger whenever they doubted themselves. Finally, after piecing together the last of the pages in the old mosque's hidden chamber, they prepared for the final ritual. Armed with the diary and the recovered pages, they returned to Andhira Gar under a moonless sky. The house seemed to breathe as they entered, the walls pulsing with shadows hungry for release. As Ali began chanting the ancient incantation, the house shook violently. The floor cracked beneath them, and ghostly figures screamed in anguish, their forms flickering between torment and freedom. Suddenly, a blinding light erupted from the diary, filling every corner of the house with pure energy. The shadows screamed and dissolved, the oppressive darkness retreating for the first time in centuries. Exhausted but hopeful, the friends stepped outside. The first dawn light bathed Andhira Gar, and the house looked different, less menacing, almost peaceful. They thought it was finally over. But as they walked away, Ali's eyes caught something in the dust, a single black feather. It fluttered up and drifted silently back toward the house. A whisper followed them on the wind, chilling and faint. "I am not gone. I am waiting." And somewhere deep within Andhira Gar, the shadows stirred once more.